Welcome to Nutty Buddy Sports.
You ready to go talk about the Dolphins versus the Buffalo Bills?
Yeah, let's get into it, man.
Okay, man, let's just hit it up. So everybody listening, the reason why Avery's on with me is for the listeners that have listened for a while. No, he's a Bills fan. I'm a Dolphins fan. He chose the better team. I chose the worst team. So tell me, Avery, how you feeling about this game on Saturday?
I feel somewhat good. I think given how we played in the crappy weather last week, there's a little room for concern because the early forecast shows 4 to 7 inches of snow on Sunday. So the weather is going to be pretty similar to what it was last week. Now, I think the Jets have a better defense than the Dolphins do, but the Dolphins have a very stout front. So it's going to make running the ball really difficult for the Bills. That being said, they're playing at home. They're not playing their third game on the road. The Dolphins have lost 2 straight on the road. I just like the Bills' chances here.
Yeah, and that's sort of how I kind of feel. So usually when the weather's bad, it always favors the more physical team. I think the Bills are the more physical team. I also think that's one of the Dolphins' weaknesses when they play more physical teams. They seem to not be able to be as explosive. I also think that the Bills are going to be pretty annoyed with the last outing, which if just so everybody remembers, the Bills ran like 93 or 96 plays to the Dolphins like 40. Tua actually played okay in that game. Like he was 13 of 18. He had 184 yards and a touchdown, but like they just didn't have the ball. Like the Bills dominated the game, and yet the Dolphins found a way to win by 2. Which that's one thing I'll say, like if I could just be a homer for 1 second, it is pretty interesting that the games that the Dolphins have been dominated in, they seem to be in every game, which I think is a good thing. Like they just figure out a way to keep themselves in those games. Not going to be a homer anymore, but I just think that the Bills have always had the Dolphins number. We were very fortunate. We as the Dolphins, like I was out on the field with them, we were very fortunate to win that game in Miami. It was weather, right? The Bills were dealing with the humidity and stuff that they weren't used to. It's the opposite now. And just one more point I'll let you go is I sent you that thing today, that Bleacher Report that said that they had like space heaters for like a 40-degree game in LA. Like the
50,
Dolphins.
it was 50 degrees.
50, 55 or something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, now you're going to Buffalo where it's going to be snowing and like 30 degrees, maybe less. So I'm not looking forward to this game at all, and especially after losing to the Chargers.
Yeah, I just don't see Tua being able to throw the ball effectively when it's snowing. From what I understand, he's a warm weather quarterback. The one stat that I saw, and I can't verify that it's 100% true, but the one game in which he played in weather that was 40 degrees or colder was when they played the Titans last year, and they got shellacked 34-3. So he didn't play well. No, like I said, it's just one game. That could be anything, but I don't see him performing super great. He doesn't have great arm strength. You kind of need that when it's snowing and windy and terrible outside. You guys are down. Is it Jeff Wilson? Is that your running back?
Yeah.
That went out with a hip injury. Like that hurts if you're going to be running the ball a lot. I don't think Tua is super mobile, so that hurts again.
No.
In comparison to Josh Allen. Now, we don't have the greatest of running backs ourselves, but in a game where it's snowing a lot and traction's needed, anything's possible. So anybody could slip at any given moment. You know, Tyreek could go for 200 yards if somebody slips and falls on coverage a couple times. Like anything is possible when the weather is this bad.
Yeah, it's true, but like I think the biggest, like, I mean, you got a lot of advantage, the Bills do, but one of the biggest ones is like Josh Allen, right? Because he's going to be able to run the ball, and
He'll be the best player on the field.
Yeah, all the time. You know, even like if he's off, this is like the difference. Like Tua can be really accurate. Like I've seen him be so accurate. I'm like, wow, he can be accurate. But like even like the most accurate quarterbacks can have like slumps, right? And that's what he's dealing with right now. The last 2 games he hasn't been very accurate. He's been off, not on point. His timing has been so, like just I don't know where it went, but it's like once you take that away, what else does he have to offer? He doesn't have arm strength. He doesn't have a very good deep ball. He doesn't have the ability, like the mobile ability, where Josh Allen has those other things that he can lean on. He has the arm strength. If he's not super accurate, like he has the arm strength, he can run, right? He can escape pressure easier than Tua can. And it's just like last week there was that play against the Jets. It was like 3rd and 15. And like I tweeted about this because somebody showed a replay of it, and like he jumps over 2 guys and like does like a helicopter thing, gets the first down, whatever. I'm like, it is so frustrating playing against that guy because like you think you have him stopped, and it's like, nope, no, you don't. He's gonna get it. So that's like the biggest advantage for you guys is that he's going to be mobile. So it doesn't matter if he can't throw, he's going to run. Like he's just
right. Even just the option, like when they do an RPO, just the option of your running backs going one way, your quarterback could go that way, and then you still have to cover the middle of the field on a slant route. Like there's just so many options in this offense. I'm curious to see how much snow they actually do get, because if they do get 4 to 7 inches during the game, like throwing the ball is not really going to be an option. So it's going to come down to who can stop the run better. And with as many options as we've got, I think the Bills have the advantage there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, do you see a way? So let's just look at the Dolphins side. Do you see a way the Dolphins could win the game? Do you see like what would make it possible for the win that game?
So last week, the Bills played the Jets in Buffalo, and we've mentioned the weather was bad. The game started with 10 punts in a row, and the Jets actually blocked a punt towards the end of the game and got a safety. So if the Bills are lackadaisical on special teams and the Dolphins can capitalize on something like that and score points off of mistakes or off special teams, then I can see them winning.
Yeah, I think another thing they can do that could work for them, especially if it's like slick and stuff outside, is can you use their aggressiveness against them? So like reverses, can you catch them on a reverse with Tyreek Hill? Like find different ways to get your playmakers the ball, because like you said, like the passing might not be there, right? So like, can you get your playmakers the ball? And if it's sort of like that, like you said, that tug of war where you're like just punting back and forth for field position, all it takes is 1 or 2 explosive plays from your playmakers, and you can win the game. So I would say the only way I could see them winning, other than maybe taking advantage of that special teams, is like you said, but also just take advantage of their aggressiveness. Can they do that? So that would be more of like a coaching thing. Can you find ways to do that? So it's the only way I could see them possibly going into Buffalo and pulling off the upset, because I think the Bills are like 6.5 favorites according to Vegas.
Yeah, I think so. It's all about play calling. Can you run a couple of jet sweeps? Can you run, like you said, a reverse? Can you actually run the ball? Can you just do a halfback dive where you run 6 yards up the middle and you continue to do that? Because I think, like you said, when the Bills dominated the Dolphins back in, was that September? Like we had the ball way longer than you guys did, but it didn't matter. Like we still lost the game. Yeah. So if we can capitalize on special teams, or one explosive play here in a snowy game, that makes a world of a difference.
Yeah, I agree.
They're hard to come by.
What's that?
When points are hard to come by, it's going to be important.
Yeah, and that's like why the Dolphins were in the game against the Chargers. They couldn't move the ball very well. Like Tua was off, but it was like 2 explosive plays and you're already back in the game. So it's that's what they have to hope for, especially if the weather's slick, is just hope like the Bills defense is so aggressive that they can get where they get an end around jet sweep, bubble screen, or like a draw play or something like that, where they can catch the defense off guard enough where they can get behind the defense because of the speed that they have on their team.
Yeah, and I think both teams have been a little turnover prone, at least fumbling the ball, which slick conditions hurts a lot. So you could see a fumble at the goal line. You could see a fumble, at your own 20-yard line just from running the ball. So can you capitalize off of turnovers too?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. Anything else to add about the game?
Other than Jordan Poyer is 9-0 this season, he hasn't lost. Like the Bills have not lost with him on the field. He obviously wasn't there when they played the Dolphins last time, and I think the game would have been a lot different had he played. He's kind of our star player back in that secondary. He's just been really, really awesome for us. I wish they would sign him. They haven't signed him yet for next year. So he'll probably be a free agent unless they can come to some agreement. But the way he's playing this year, he's going to get a huge bag.
Well, he can come to Miami. We need some help. So,
Yeah.
so just to put a bow, like, so the Bills, funny enough, they got the second ranked defense and the second ranked offense in the league. The Dolphins has, I think it was the seventh ranked offense and the 22nd ranked defense. Now, since the Bradley Chubb trade, I will say the defense has been playing better. That San Francisco game, they did allow 32 points, but it was 17-23 with like 5 minutes ago, and then they kicked a field goal, and then there was a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So I don't like that was sort of outlier, but they have been playing well since that trade, but it's more like mediocre, not like Buffalo well. You know what I'm saying? So if you think about it, they have the advantage both offensively and defensively against the Dolphins. So
Just a quick shout out to Christian Wilkins. That guy is an absolute beast.
yes, yeah, he played really well on Sunday night. I was like, man, that guy's all over the place. So yeah. Is that the defender you're most worried about on, because you mentioned Poyer for the Bills? Is that the biggest threat you think they have on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, for sure. In a game where there's going to be bad weather and you're trying to run the ball a bunch, that guy's a huge disruptor in the middle.
Yeah, I agree. And I would say Bradley Chubb, come on. That was one thing like he really didn't make a play against the Chargers. Like he's been there. He's been causing havoc a little bit. Like I've noticed him, which is good. But against the Chargers, he was kind of non-existent, and I'd like to see him kind of do something in this game, even if they lose, just a little bit of something for the trade and the money you gave him. So I would like to see him show up as well. Okay, anything else?
No, that's it. Go Bills.
Go Bills. Okay, let's predict the game then. You got the Bills?
I'll take the Bills by 4.
Okay. Do you have like a score, or are you just saying 4?
I'm just saying 4.
Okay, fair enough. I had 27. Well, I wasn't thinking the weather was going to be increment, so maybe I'll change my score. I'll say 17-10. I think a garbage time touchdown for the Dolphins, but it won't be close. I think the Bills will dominate the game though. But that's my prediction, 17-10 with snow. If no snow, let's say if snow doesn't show up, I had 27-21 Bills. Same sort of scenario, like a late touchdown to make the game look close.
I like it.
Okay. Okay, man. Anything else for this week?
No, that's it.
Just go Buffalo. Okay. I'm going to say fin up. Let's go Dolphins. I hope you guys prove me wrong. It would be sort of like a relief, because then it's like, okay, playoffs are more and more possible if you win this game, because I think the Bills got the division now, clearly. So get to the playoffs. It was funny. I don't know if I told you this, but I texted my brother-in-law to see if he could get Titans, because I thought the Bills would win the division, and I'm like, okay, the Dolphins could end up playing the Titans right in the first round. So I texted him like, could you get Dolphins tickets? And he thinks he could. And then all of a sudden, 2-game losing streak. I'm like, I should have shut up. Like, yeah, it is. It's totally my fault. Okay, man. Well, thanks so much for joining tonight, Avery.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
Thanks so much for watching this clip of me and Avery break down the Dolphins going up against the Buffalo Bills in this clip of our podcast. If you'd like to listen to more of the podcast, click on one of the links down below. Let us know who you think is going to win the game on Saturday. Also, if you like what you hear, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and thanks so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you guys soon.